Carson for coding? Yeah, yeah, no, that's or is it Casper, right? What, how was that spelled? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, cursive. Yep. Yeah, yeah. No, that's I use Claude for coding, so that's kind of like my go-to. Anybody else using any other tools that I haven't heard of before? Gotcha, gotcha. So a lot of coding tools out there. Awesome. Yeah, I actually coded my first thing a couple of days ago using a coding tool, so I'm very proud of myself. So, obviously, we're not, the technical side of things. My name's Alex Rankin. I'm the VP of Business Development over here at Newport AI. And then we have Derek here. He's our AI Solution Specialist. And then Jonathan just joined us a couple of weeks ago. He's our account executive, account manager. So, and also running our marketing strategy as well, essentially. So, yeah, we're a quick little startup. Wanted to thank everybody for hopping on, joining us. And are we live online? Perfect. And you can hear me okay? Perfect. Everybody else can hear me. Cool. Awesome, guys. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to go ahead and get our workshop kicked off today. We're going to be going ahead and exploring the AI space, specifically around AI agents, and then give you guys an opportunity to actually work with our technology, build out some digital avatars, AI influencers, and design ways that we can implement visuals into the AI or agentic workflow. So anything else you want to add before we start? Perfect. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and you mind just clicking through the slides? Let me know. Perfect. So I know I already asked everybody kind of how familiar they are with the AI space. So we won't spend too much time on this, but did just want to do a really quick recap just in case anybody needed a refresher or wasn't familiar. So what AI, generative AI in particular, refers to any AI that is generating something new. So traditionally, AI was used for classification, labeling, and identifying. But generative AI takes that a step further and actually generates an output or generates a response based off of the data that is fed into that AI algorithm or depending on the LLM that you're using. We've actually seen a transition in the space from generative AI down into agentic AI. So, as I'm sure many of you know as well, agentic AI is actually not just generating a response or generating an output, but actually taking an action on that based off of the inputs that's provided to that AI model. So, I know I was talking with a couple of folks here that are developing their own AI agents, their own AI marketplaces. Derek and I have been going to a lot of meetings recently exploring the AI agent space. And really, that's kind of the next big boom, the next big wave in the AI space that we have identified over here. Just some quick examples of ways that you can use AI. I think we're all familiar with this, but primarily from my standpoint and what we're doing over here, obviously marketing is a huge opportunity for AI. Also education.
an application that our company has developed, which is a direct-to-consumer application with approximately 8 million downloads, and there's a lot of countries that are using these applications. One very interesting thing that I've seen for countries using this app, because every country uses it a little bit differently, and there's some trends. Japan apparently is using applications to make their pets, their pet cats and their pet dogs talk and sing, which is a very interesting trend that we're noticing. We also have other apps that are popping up on the App Store and using generative AI technologies. And so entertainment is definitely a big one that's growing. One that's not up here by design is actually AI companions. So AI girlfriend and boyfriend are actually becoming a lot more popular, believe it or not. So this is a thing that we're seeing. I think this is yours, AI Park. So another one is more on the professional side of things. So one use case that we see is corporate. So for example, learning and development or any kind of spokesperson video. So I'll just show like some use cases of how they're using our technology to create AI avatars. I don't know if the volume is working, but does anybody speak Korean? Does anyone? Okay, it's in Korean, but okay. So so this is an AI avatar using our technology. So just like, oops, I lost it. Where am I? Oh. Here's another example of a spokesperson video, or news, could be used for news as well. So these are more for information-based videos, but along with that, we also have. Oops, sorry. Should be next slide, right? Okay. No. Go to the next one. Okay. We also have companies that are using our technology more for social media advertisements. So marketing is a very big use case right now. So if you go on to, I'm not a big user of social media, but if you do go on social media, you'll probably start to see videos that might be obviously AI generated. It's going to become more realistic. And so one thing that we're seeing with some of our customers using our platforms is creating AI influencers, essentially. So it's becoming a little bit more popular. So here are some examples, not video examples, but image examples. And we also are seeing some companies that are creating platforms to create social media, the ability to create tons of user-generated content using AI. So these are some popular use cases that are happening right now. Yep.
Perfect. And we understand that here that the AI space is constantly changing. So really quickly, just wanted to show everybody, you know, the latest and greatest that we've found here at Dream API. Again, we run competitive analysis every week, every 2 weeks to figure out, hey, what's the latest and greatest? What are the top models that people are utilizing out there? And really the point of this slide for everybody here is to identify, hey, there are lots of models out there, but every model does something different, and every model does some things better than other things. So, you know, whether it's text-based models, image-based models, video, audio, or coding, as we mentioned before, cursor. The really where everybody's being pushed towards right now is into the multimodal. So people are looking, especially with AI agents coming into the forefront, everybody's looking for, hey, what's that one solution that's going to do everything that I want immediately on the first try for the lowest cost, obviously. So right now, I couldn't identify one of these companies out here that is doing everything amazingly and does it all in one shot. It just depends on what your use case is, as Derek mentioned before. So whether you're generating images, whether you're generating videos, whether you're doing anything with computer vision or robotics, really diving deep and understanding where the industry is going and where which AI model or which LLM is going to get you where you need to go and in the right direction. I wish I could pull up my screen, but I had some other notes about some other honorable mentions up there. And then, of course, don't forget Dream API as well. We are a multimodal AI model. Just had to put that out there. Cool. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. And then just a couple of things. I know we talk about, hey, choosing the right model, which model is right for you, looking at what these models are capable of, what kind of results that you're getting using specific models, especially for video, whether you're looking for high quality video, whether you're looking for long form video content, whether you're looking for fast rendering speeds. These all different models have different advantages and disadvantages for them. So you want to look into that, but also, looking at the types of business models that these corporations are putting their AI models underneath, the umbrella that they're putting them underneath, whether they're open source or API based. Open source, perfect for anybody that has the time, the resources, and wants to go through the effort of developing their own AI models using, whole long list of open source LLMs, including Llama, Minstrel, Falcon are just some of the few. Obviously, Llama probably the most popular out there right now. I've been hearing some great things coming out of Meta recently as far as their AI. So happy to chat about that after this call. And then obviously API based. Over here at Dream API, we're obviously API based, and with that comes the support. So if you're into doing it yourself, open source might be the way to go. Just be aware that there are computational costs that are associated with that. APIs are essentially out of the box. You get the support. A little bit higher threshold for cost or a little bit higher barrier for entry as far as cost. However, they are essentially most of them do come with managed packages out there. So again, ChatGPT and Claude. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Claude. It was able to help me get up some material for our website up within 30 minutes. It was amazing. So perfect. Next slide. I think perfect. And then obviously trade-offs and considerations. Data privacy with open source is probably going to be, if that's your biggest concern, then probably going to want to go open source so you can set everything up the way you want it, the way your customers want it to be set up. Looking at the use case fit and your time to market, if you're looking at something that needs to be done quickly, I recommend APIs. Latency and community support. There's a lot of things you can do as far as improving latency if you're using any kind of open source models. And Hugging Face, just a great resource. You guys are all familiar with Hugging Face, of course. Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, and then obviously performance and costs. Cost is probably going to be key for a lot of people in the room if you're looking to start up your own project. So again, just balancing that that relationship in between, hey, how long is this going to take versus how much time do I have versus how much do I want to spend. Don't have to spend too much time on that. And really quickly, just wanted to highlight here at Dream API, we do have a whole host of proprietary models that we've built in-house, but we're not immune to the fact that, hey, there are some other models out there that do things better than what we can currently do. So obviously we're trying to optimize them. Obviously we're trying to make them all better. But just to pull the curtain back, I don't want to, make it seem like we're doing everything perfect. We leverage two other models here. We WAN 2.0 and Sonic for our image to video, text to video capabilities. So when we go into the workshop, you'll actually be able to see this. You'll be able to play with them, compare the two. WAN 2.0 is generally for longer form video content, so anything around 20 seconds, I think, is the max with WAN. And then Sonic is just anything for high quality. We're talking like professional production grade Hollywood style videos. So we like to offer these options for our customers, especially on the enterprise side, because we have customers in media and entertainment who may want that cinematic quality. We have customers that don't really care too much about the quality. They just want to get the content out as quickly as possible. So that's where our API would come in. And then as far as people who want to do in the education, for example, the education use case, if they want to take their entire lecture and create an AI generated content based off of that, you know, 20 minutes and all that kind, 20 to 30 minutes up to 60 minutes. That's where we would leverage the WAN. And again, when it comes to providing that support, we are API based, so we do offer that API support. If you just took WAN out of the box and tried to play around with it, you know, it could take you longer to get upboarded and onboarded. Wonderful. Next slide.
Okay, I guess I'll briefly talk about this. So I think earlier there's a few people in this room that are looking to build applications. So let's say you're actually actively building something right now, or you're thinking about building an application using Gen AI. I can save you guys some time because we actually talk with a lot of prospects and customers, and we understand some of their biggest challenges when it comes to actually finding the right solution. And there's actually three that seem to be the biggest. One is the financial feasibility. So a lot of people think that, everything's free, you know, ChatGPT is free. But then the reality is that a lot of these big companies like OpenAI, there's a cost to them. And so that may shift in the future. The most important thing is that you have to think about how much it's going to cost you to produce and what are you gaining from it. And so there's usually two contexts. One is you're using the content to create marketing. So if you're using AI tools and you're creating marketing, then that's a cost, right? As a part of the marketing costs. And then the benefit is what can you get from that, which is usually you're selling a product or you're selling something. The other one is that you're actually using the AI technology in your product. And if you're doing that, you have to consider, Alex mentioned this earlier, you have to consider the costs. So if you're trying to make the best, the most immersive solution, it's going to cost a lot of money. And also, if you need it to be almost conversational, that's also going to cost a lot of money because of the computing power. So for example, there are some of our customers, they're looking to create, for example, a chatbot feature for their website where you can go onto the website and you can interact with a real-time avatar. And the thing that's really tricky about that is the latency needs to be so minuscule that it can feel as if you're talking with a real person. And so the challenges with that is that what we've seen is that a lot of people who are building these technologies actually overestimate how much it actually costs to produce these technologies. So you have to kind of know, do I want to create a very immersive product feature, or do I want to create something? How much quality do I want, and how much am I going to sacrifice for the cost? So financial feasibility is actually quite important when you're actually determining the costs and what you can gain from it. It's very competitive. So we've seen a lot of companies that are coming onto the market using technologies, and we don't know how long they're going to be here. And so the interesting thing is sometimes you want to make sure that you're understanding different technologies out there. So there's a lot of different technologies. For example, I think some of you in this room may have already heard of 11 Labs, which is a really good product for audio generation APIs. And so if depending on what you're trying to do, always be nimble to understand, do I want to use this particular vendor? Do I want to use this vendor? When to use a particular vendor? So in a competitive marketplace, you have to understand how you can be nimble and how you can choose the different solutions right for you. And then market fit. And so the market fit is really kind of goes hand in hand with the product niche. So whatever you're building, I'd recommend to have some sort of niche. So if you're trying to build something and it's too broad or you don't have the right messaging, it can be very difficult to continue to move forward. So I kind of went over these quickly, but again, we hear this a lot from our customers. And so if you're building something or you're planning to build something, then just keep these three things in mind at all times while you're building. Yep, Kosh.
I know this varies of quite a lot with company to company, but
Yep.
as a rough ballpark, how, what kind of finances are we talking about? Like how much does it cost to build a model or?
Yeah, to build out a model, it can be, you know, it depends obviously on what you're doing and how you want it to run. But I've seen people be able to kind of leverage our technology to very quickly build out an application that can run out in as little as $30 to get started, and then obviously rolling that out, that scales up, and obviously the more content you're generating, the more you're going to be processing. But if you're talking about like actually developing an AI model from scratch using, you know, your preferred LLM, I could see anywhere between, you know, 50K to 500K depending on the resources that you have on board and how many people you want to bring on board to do that. So, for example,
500K for fine tuning an existing open source model.
exactly. Yeah. So, and it can get up that high because again, it just depends. I've seen companies just kind of go, hey, let's get, the newest Stanford grad, let's get him over here, let's sign him up, let's give him 6 figures and let him run wild to develop his program. Or I've seen people do it themselves. So if you do it yourself, you have to weigh, the time that it takes. If it takes you 8 months to develop this AI model that you're going for, obviously there's no guarantee at the end that you're going to get the consistent results that you're looking for. But then what is the cost of delaying your product 8 months to get it to market? So yeah, I don't know if you have,
No, I guess I think we're going to talk about this, which is one thing that we're also noticing is prompting. So depending on your use case, this is specific for marketing use cases, is that sometimes when you try and get a result, it's just not going to be perfect. So sometimes you have to tweak the prompt, you have to change it. So that's something that you can utilize to actually save some process. You want to add something?
Yeah, once you're done, I want to add
okay.
into one of the things that we talked about and last time. Hi, my name's Jonathan. Was the issue with financial feasibility and market fit? Remember, someone were here last time and they brought up a new product.
right.
They're like, was it
MCP.
MCP Anthropic? So to touch on Alex's point, like you're investing all this money. Generative AI, like in 6 months, is going to be completely different than what we see now. It's moving so fast. So competitive marketplace. So are you going to spend $100,000? And if you don't have a niche, like this is what I do. And you look at it, right? There's like guerrilla videos right now on Instagram that are produced, religious videos that are produced, food videos, whatever it is. If you don't have a niche and you're just like putting stuff out, the competitive marketplace is going to eat you up because the platform is going to change so fast. And now you've invested 100,000 on something that is, outdated. So that's how when he said like it's like 50K to 500K, because 6 months you develop something, and then now that money's gone and it doesn't matter. So you have to be very like, this is what I want to attack and understand the market, and then as it changes, you have to adapt.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And yeah, one more thing to add onto competitive marketplace as well is we've been talking to a lot of companies. So basically, essentially, AI libraries that host AI models on their platform for people to access and use for however they want. It's a very popular business strategy right now of saying, hey, there's all these models out here. They're all doing something different. Some are good at this, some are good at that. So we're just going to host them all in one place, similar to a Hugging Face, but more of a paid platform with some support baked into that as well. But what they're noticing, and even people that are developing their own applications, is they have to build for obsolescence. So they have to understand that, hey, in 3 weeks, in 3 months, in 6 months, it doesn't matter. At some point, somebody's going to come out with the next groundbreaking thing. So they need to be able to quickly be able to shift their model. I was talking to a company that does AI for media and production, more like long form commercial, not so much Hollywood, but more like long form commercial production. And he told me, he's like, hey, I built my platform so that I can quickly swap in your guys' technology, then swap it out for another one, swap it out for another one. I know Derek mentioned 11 Labs. We're not partnered with 11 Labs, but we work very closely with 11 Labs. Again, pull the curtain back. A lot of customers that want hyper realistic, they'll use 11 Labs for audio, and then they'll use us for everything else, essentially. And again, some of our customers who aren't really focused on hyper realistic, they just want to get, content out there as quickly as possible. They'll go with us for everything. So, and then maybe some other vendors here and there. But again, the marketplace is changing every day. That's why when we run these workshops, first thing we do when we're planning the workshop is every week just go on, find the latest and greatest, find the next great thing that's out there, and make sure that we include it in our presentations. So if you guys know of anything better, please, we love to hear about all that stuff. Jump ahead. I think the next one. Perfect. So Derek mentioned it earlier. This is where I want to spend a good majority of our time here, because this is where most people spend a good majority of their time when using AI is prompting. So, how many people here, you guys obviously all use AI. How many people here usually get the result that they're looking for on the first prompt? Raise your hand, keep them raised if you guys have them. No? How many people try to change the prompt or try to run it through a second time to get the result that they're looking for? Anybody here do that? Keep your hand raised. Keep your hand raised.
Discovery process.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and exactly that's what we're going for is uh, AI is still very much relatively a black box, especially if you're using an outside vendor. If you're not building your own AI models, it's difficult to understand. Hey, why did I get these results from this prompt? And that's what we're hearing from our customers a lot. Again, most of the people we working with marketing folks, working with education folks, working with people in biotech and research, and they come to us saying, "Hey, I'd love to use your technology." We give them access to it, they try it out, and then consistently we come back saying, "Hey, why am I getting these results? Why am I getting this thing? Why is this thing changing?" One last question for you guys. Of the people that run your prompts multiple times to get the outlook, or of the people that don't run your prompts multiple times to get the output that you're looking for, how many people just give up and change to another AI model that'll give them different results? Anybody here do that? I know I do that. Yeah, that's how I landed on Claude, because I was trying to use like Code Whisperer and Code Wizard and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, this is too complex. Just going to go to the one that I trust, the one that I like. And then for most people out there, it's ChatGPT. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm not using ChatGPT every single day. So when it comes to prompting, this is where our customers have the most issues, quite frankly. So before we jump into our workshop, I really just wanted to go through this with everybody and see if we can, give you some tips, give you some tricks, help you understand how your prompts are being ingested, so that way you guys can get the best results that you're looking for. So obviously, prompt engineering, designing effective prompts to get the desired output. So really, the overlooked thing here is an effective prompt. Everybody wants the desired output. Everybody desires an output, and they want to get it on the first time every single time. But designing effective prompts is where people run into trouble. Understanding, hey, what are the issues in my prompt, and where is the AI getting thrown off? I was at a presentation or an event a couple of weeks ago, and maybe you guys heard this. I forget the name of the author, but he just published a book, and he was talking about how AI is like a child. AI is like a child that you have to work with, you have to train it, it grows, and then eventually it'll start getting the results you want. I know for myself personally, when I started using ChatGPT, wasn't getting the results I was looking for. Eventually, I got to my wit's end, and I just took our entire internal knowledge base at Newport AI, dumped it into ChatGPT, and said, learn all of this and use it for the rest of your responses that you give me from now until the end of time. So now I'm getting much better responses. The types of prompting in order of most effectiveness go from zero-shot prompting. This is your first try. This is the first thing that you pop into ChatGPT when you open it in incognito mode or jump in. Doesn't have any examples, doesn't know what you want, just has the sentence that you typed. So when using zero-shot examples, when you're doing your first prompt I'm using ChatGPT for example because everybody's familiar with it, but when you enter in your first prompt, be as descriptive as possible. You want to give it as much knowledge as it can to provide you with the response that you want. Once you get that first initial response, we're going to move into few shot, where you give it more examples to be trained off of. And what I like to do in these situations is upload a PDF, upload a database, upload your code, give it as much information, as many cues as you can. And one thing that's overlooked with few shot prompting is tell it what you don't want. Just as important as when you give it the information of, hey, I want this, I want this, I want it to look like this, I want it to sound like this. Hey, tell it what you don't want it to do. Things that what we call negative prompting. And then chain of thought. This is where we go into try it multiple times. If you don't get the result you're looking for, try it multiple times, and really train your the AI model that you're using to understand who you are, what you're looking for, and what purpose you're using this AI model for. So again, as we talked earlier, some are good for text, some are good for video, some are good for code. By using a chain of thought, you can really easily get the outputs that you're looking for and then also switch those from model to model. So for example, I keep talking about my little coding project I did a couple days ago. If anybody's interested, it was a pricing calculator. Not very exciting, just sales stuff. But I was able to generate the prompt that I wanted in ChatGPT and then went over to Claude to actually generate the code and download it onto my desktop and share it with the rest of our sales team. So again, the most powerful way that you can develop these prompts and get the outputs, the most effective way to get the quickest output that you're looking for, through chain of thought. The reason why, again, I bring this up just to bookend everything is we do get a lot of users that come in to use our technology or use any AI. I even speak with friends that aren't even in the AI space, aren't even in the tech space, and they go, "Oh yeah, I tried ChatGPT, put in something, didn't get what I wanted, so never going to use that again." And it's like, okay, well, nothing really you can do about that other than try it again. Maybe it was operator error. Especially if you're using ChatGPT, it's a great model. It gives me the responses that I'm looking for. And then obviously why it matters, especially when it comes to not so much for text base, not so much for code base, but especially when it comes to image and video. People are looking for what's in their head. They want what's in their head to come out onto the screen on the first time every single time. So the clearer the prompts you can get and the more context you can give the AI model to develop these things, the more likely you're going to get the responses that you're looking for. So that's my quick little introduction to prompting 101. And obviously during the workshop, as you guys are using our tools, we'll be around to help you generate these things. We have, me, Derek, Jonathan's just getting on board, but we have a lot of practice of dealing with these AI models and understanding why you're getting the results you're looking for. So we'll be around. Let us know. We're happy to help you out. Go to the next one. Last few things about prompt engineering. If you guys want to take a picture of this, again, just very easy to be, easy tips. Be as specific as possible, especially on your first prompt. Use delimiters, so delimiters, excuse me. So any kind of Boolean functions that can help the prompt, or to help the AI model understand what your prompt is and emphasize what the important parts of it are. Break down your tasks. So don't try and do it all in one go. Break it into, hey, this is what I want first. Okay, and once I have something once I have the thing that I'm looking for, then add the next layer, then add the next layer, then add the next layer. And this is where those costs that we were talking about before start coming into play. Include examples. So if you have a base image or a base document that you want everything to be built off of, throw it in there. Give it as much information as you possibly can until the free version cuts you off. And then reiterate and refine. So just keep trying it, and compare the results. Figure out, hey, what did I not want? What results did I get? What do I not want it to do? And then how do I tell my AI model to eliminate those results but keep the ones that I want? Perfect. Quick little tip before we move on here, just for the workshop moving forward. When I generate any content in our platform in Dream API, first step, go to ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT what I want, and then it'll spit out the exact prompt. And then don't use that prompt. That's my tip. Don't use that prompt exactly. Just by doing this long enough, I've been able to I can look at a prompt and kind of tell where it's going to be tripped up and what issues what issues may arise, especially when it comes to image to video. Things that you want to look out for images and video content generation is movement. What movement are you asking the AI to do? the lighting. What lighting are you asking the AI to do? And those are honestly the two main. Anything else you've come across that kind of threw things up?
Trying to do a video.
Keep subject focused.
Exactly. So specifically with video, where my kind of film production knowledge comes into play and helps out a lot is understanding kind of how to explain what you want a shot to look like and really explaining that in words before you put it into the prompt. And I've been able to get some very good results using that technique. So, and again, start with ChatGPT, run it through, get the results, put it back, figure out why you don't want that, put it back into ChatGPT, and just keep going back and forth until you get the results you want. That's really my magic trick that I can give to you guys. If you guys have any other techniques or anything like that, or if anybody's developing an AI model that can develop prompts for AI models, that would be really cool. I'm sure everybody would appreciate that. Cool. Next one. Perfect. Yeah. So that is everything that we wanted to cover today. So obviously, there's a lot going on in the AI space. You guys are doing some, amazing things, bringing these things to light. So, any questions you guys have for us, we're more than happy to answer them for you right now, and then we'll go ahead and just jump right into the workshop. Let you guys actually play around and develop some cool avatars. Any questions? Yes.
GPTs within ChatGPT. Have you developed using those?
Yeah. So
Just prompting via chat.
yeah. So GPT vision. So as far as like prompt engineering using the different GPTs.
Yeah, so people have built different GPTs like an app store, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can use some of them to create, for example, a marketing plan or something like that. I don't know if you've played around with those. I've not had very good luck and I find them disappointing. And
Yeah, I haven't played around with them too much, but I do know that ChatGPT, as far as like image and video generation, is lackluster to say the least. Yeah, so that would kind of be my 2 cents on it. Is we do use ChatGPT in our technology for certain things, but purely for text, not any image generation or anything like that. So yeah.
second question, do you play around and put the outputs of one LLM to another? I tend to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
It gives me more effective outputs. I find I use Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and DeepSeek within a wrapper that I
Mhm.
use at work.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I've had some luck doing that.
Yeah, that's where I find the best luck. Yeah, exactly. And that kind of goes to the point of, not everybody does everything the best. So really playing around with them. For example, I started, my code in ChatGPT, wasn't getting the results I wanted, jumped over to Claude and Anthropic, and they over at Anthropic, they gave me some really good results. And then similarly, our customers, they'll use us for the visuals, and then use GPT for like if they're doing a chat bot to integrate in with their chat bot and do and install like a RAG on it to do all the querying and all that kind of stuff, and then use us for the visual at the end, or use us for the visual and somebody else for the audio, 11 Labs for the audio. So yeah, no, we have a whole team. It's not my team, it's the product team that runs those kind of competitive analysis and sees where we rank up against all of the image and video ones. Not so much for coding and text, unfortunately. But yeah, great question. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, for the last tip you gave, so I just want to clarify that, do you mean you refine the prompt with ChatGPT?
Go
Or do you
back.
mean that you generate with GPT the image or video first, then you use the same prompt that we made out?
No, yeah. So I generate the prompt using ChatGPT, just the text prompt that I'm looking for. Because again, and this is no knock on GPT, I use them every single day. Their image and video stuff isn't where I'd like it to be. And there's other tools out there like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion that can do it a lot, or Dream API that can do it a lot higher quality. I've found that GPT really does well with like non-realistic or animated images and videos. But our number one use case is with hyper realistic is what our customers are looking for. So
Yeah, so because the way you mentioned just now, you guys mentioned some I guess it's quite detailed concept of how you imagine the shot or how does the camera action. So I just wonder, of course you have the domain knowledge, but for people like laymen, that how do they get those knowledge in order to generate an accurate video or
yeah. So when you're looking at your prompt and so when you get your prompt and you generate a image or a video using that, things that you don't want in video, it's always best to go back to the prompt and go, okay, where is this coming from? Especially if it's like a hallucination or an artifact. Like let's say it puts wings on somebody, and you're like, why? I didn't even ask for wings. Go through your prompt and look for any word that it might have misunderstood as, hey, this is why I produced that thing, and eliminate those. And then as far as kind of like centering your shot, or steadying the camera or locking it off so it's just a 3 lens or a 5 lens, you don't have to know all that stuff. You can just tell ChatGPT like, hey, this is what I want it to look like, and then so once you get the response back, you say, "Hey, this is what I got using this. I want it to look like this," and ChatGPT does a great job of loading all that stuff in there.
the output from of the video or image then to GPT and then further prompt to say what you like that.
That's what I would recommend, just at the very, very base level. It's not necessary, but that's what I would recommend. Yeah, just pop it in and say like, "Hey, this person is, laying down instead of standing up. I want them standing up," and then it'll tell you kind of how to fix that. Yeah. Of course.
The 1 minute demo.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and just jump right into yeah. If you have any other questions, guys, feel free to find any of us. We're happy to chat and talk with you guys. But
We do a 1 minute demo for an AI avatar that was created for a past workshop. So I suppose we can just play it for you.
How utterly delightful you've all managed to find your way here without tripping over your own walls. A modest achievement. Welcome to Mastering Generative AI in Action and Interactive Workshop, a title clearly devised by someone with a fondness for unnecessary flair. Now, as some of you may have foolishly presumed, no, I am not Professor Snape. Despite the rather disturbing resemblance, I am in fact an AI-generated avatar brought to life by something far more precise and unforgiving than magic itself, Dream API. Today's session, should you manage to remain awake, you will bring to life an AI presence of your own, be it an AI avatar, an AI companion, or Merlin help us all, an AI influencer. My apprentices will now walk you through the process. You will follow instructions carefully. And with any luck, some of you may manage to produce something of competence. Please then proceed.
So quick demo. That's essentially what we're going to be doing. And
there we go.
let's start. So we have handouts. So if you look at the back side of the handout, we basically provide 3 different options. You can use the Dream API Playground, which is testing out the APIs, specifically a specific API. We also have Dream Studio, which is actually early release, something that we're developing based off of popular demand. And then if you're comfortable with utilizing your own following APIs, you can also do that as well. So
Yeah. And then also for Dream API, we have a QR code right here for 500 credits, so you guys can just get started as soon as you'd like. Oh, there you are. You guys all got one down here. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Pass those out for you guys.
Please scan that to get started.
Yeah. So you want to go ahead and just log on to Dream API, or it's api.newport.com. api.newport. NEWPORT AI.com. And then if you just go ahead and create an account with your Google or GitHub, whatever you have available. And then when you scan that QR code, it'll link up with it'll ask you just for your information, and then it'll link up. And you should get 80 free credits as well. So.
It's very descriptive, right? Let's say you wanted to.
Perfect. Are you guys what are you guys thinking? Using Dream API, Dream Studio? We got lots of different.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
At this point, do you think that enterprises are overspending on the side? Because this is like, how do you value the ROI from real investment? If you
Right.
create something, ultimately the customers are still unwilling to fork out the wallet and pay.
Mhm.
Everything is kind of hype.
That's a really interesting question.
Unless somebody has come up with the benchmark to measure the rate.
Yeah.
Rate of investment.
So what we're seeing is mostly enterprises are obviously developing like their own internal AI technology just because they have to, like, for privacy and IP sake. So yes, short answer is yes, I do see them overspending on AI, but it's in the hope that they'll be able to develop something in the future. Yeah. So, obviously it would be easier for them just to, hey, buy something out of the box, install it in, ready to go, but they want to, own especially like the Googles and the Metas and all that. Yeah.
It reminds me of 25 years ago.
Hmm.
When I was a college student 25 years ago.
Right.
Everybody is spending thousands of dollars to register a domain.
Exactly. Yeah.